Hi guys, I'm Jasmine and you're watching my channel, The Curious White Coat. In less than a year, I'll be a doctor and I wanted to share some of my experiences to help you along the way. Today, we're going to be talking about the transition into medical school. So you've made it into medical school. You have a brand new crisp white coat that you're just dying to break in. Congratulations! I hope you're oozing with pride because it was no small feat to get to this point. So let's talk about that adjustment period that happens in those first couple of months as a medical student. So you're in medical school now, and with that comes an increased level of responsibility. In undergrad, you were able to be an observer and kind of see what was going on, but now you get to be a part of the action, and you're actually expected to have a certain level of knowledge when it comes to knowing how to interview patients and perform physical exams. But it's also really exciting because now you get to do what you've been dying to do for so long. The classroom environment isn't the same as it was in undergrad. Now the doctor's office becomes part of your classroom. You'll work with standardized patients who are paid actors that pretend to be patients coming in with any concern that someone would come into the doctor's office for. So you get to work with these patients on learning different parts of your physical exam skills, like auscultating the heart and the lungs, and you'll practice these on standardized patients and with your other classmates. Your exams also will change. So in undergrad, your exams may have been written by your professors or teaching assistants, and while you still have those type of exams in medical school, you're also going to have standardized tests by the National Board of Medical Examiners called NBMEs. And these are tests where you have to use like a special computer and you get a password and username all assigned to you so that you can access the test on test day. You're also being graded on your physical performance. So we have these tests called Objective Structured Clinical Exams, called OSCEs, and in these OSCEs you get graded on how you interact with patients and how you perform different parts of the physical exam. So you'll go to a specific room and you'll have those standardized patients and you'll read like a little prompt that says 79-year-old male with right knee pain. And you'll go in, you'll talk to the patient, you'll take a history like you would as a doctor, you'll examine them, and then report your findings at the end of the encounter. But all while you're doing this, you have a faculty member who's usually a doctor themselves, who's grading you on your performance to see how do you talk to the patients, how do you make them feel at ease, as well as are you performing this certain technique correctly or not. You also can't forget the responsibilities of just being an adult. I was 21 when I started medical school, so for me this was also the first time that I was living on my own. I was now responsible for an apartment that I had to take care of. If things needed to be fixed, I had to either fix them or call someone to fix them, which was the more likely alternative because I can't repair anything. And you also have to pay your own rent, utilities, and be on top of your bills. And all of this can be kind of hard to balance when you're also having to do these different things with medical school. Mentally, there are a lot of feelings. There's excitement for one because you're going to become a doctor. You've finished this intense process of applying to medical school and now you finally get to reap the fruits of your labor. I know for me, I was so excited for that first week of orientation and for the first week of classes. And I was also a little bit nervous because I was wondering, like, what are the other students going to be like? How is this process going to work? How are the classes going to be? And I also had this feeling of just gratefulness and thankfulness because I was really hit with the gravity of the fact that this dream that I had been working on is going to now become a reality and I'm going to be a doctor. So with all of those feelings that you start off with, they continue on, but as you go through, you might also be filled with a couple of feelings of worry or self-doubt. These can start to creep up when you have exams or classes that don't go the way that you expected them to go. I know for us medical students who feel the need to be perfect, it can be a bit of a shock to your system when you get a test that isn't a perfect score. And if you listen to those 2 or 3 outlier students who got those perfect scores, you can really start to doubt yourself. Imposter syndrome is a very real occurrence, and I actually have another video on that where I kind of share some of my experiences with that as well. Medical school is an exercise of your mental stamina. I learn best when I'm able to go in person, so for my first year of medical school, I actually went to lecture pretty much every day. That meant that my day would start at 8 in the morning with lecture that would go from 8 till about noon, and then at noon you would get a lunch break and you'd come back for afternoon classes. Those afternoon classes would be a couple of hours on different topics like clinical skills or ethics or epidemiology. And then after that class, I was able to relax a little bit, go home, make dinner, and then dive right into studying for a couple of hours. When you count all of that time up, you realize that your brain is just going and going, and that it's just on and working at 110% for more time than people do in their typical workday. And sometimes I just remember feeling really tired. There were days where it would feel like I had been exercising all day, but really instead of muscle soreness, it was like my brain was sore. And that brings me to another point. With all of these new responsibilities and the studying that you're going to be doing on top of life's normal stressors, you want to be able to check in with yourself and watch out for signs of burnout. Burnout is when you have complete exhaustion. It's this state of being overwhelmed, and it's exhaustion on many levels, so mentally, physically, and emotionally. I don't want to paint this picture that medical school is all doom and gloom, because it really isn't. Yes, there are obstacles that you have to overcome, but there are obstacles in anything that you take on in life. And I feel like through medical school, I was able to develop really good problem-solving skills for my day-to-day activities, and you realize just how resilient you are. You also learn how to develop a healthy relationship with your limitations and your weaknesses so that you can progress not only as a doctor, but also as a person. Another really good part of the transition into your first year of medical school is that your infatuation with medicine will only grow. If you think that you love medicine now, just wait until you've taken your first couple of courses and you're really starting to dive into what medicine means. One of my first classes was this course called Genes, Molecules, and Cells. And that class looked at everything kind of on a microscopic scale. You were able to see all the biochemical and metabolic processes that underlie the body's different functions. And you're just blown away by not only by how the body works and how complex it is, but also by the sheer amount of knowledge that we've been able to amass. And it really motivates you by the fact that you now get to be a part of this group of people who are contributing to that new knowledge. And it's also cool to see just how far we've come. I wanted to end this video with just a couple of words of friendly advice. Be kind to yourself. The time that it takes to get through this process and transition is unique to each person that goes through it. It can be really hard not to feel pressured by how other people are doing as they take their journeys, but you are you, and you have to give yourself permission to be okay with going at your own pace. Some people can look like they have it all together, and that's great if they do, but you're going to be an excellent physician because of the journey that you went on and the different events that shaped you in the process. Make time for yourself. Take a little time out of your day or out of your week to do something that allows you to recenter and refreshes you. Establish a support system, because while there will be a lot of naysayers, it's important to surround yourself with people who are positive motivators. If you're feeling like you're in over your head, talk to someone that you can trust. Maybe this is an upperclassman who can give you advice on how to overcome certain issues that you're dealing with. Or maybe it's a family member or friends. And also consider speaking to a therapist where you have a judgment-free zone to be able to express yourself and talk about some of the things that you've been going through. And if you're a new M1, my last piece of advice to you is that if you haven't celebrated your accomplishments yet, go celebrate and then tell me about it in the comments. I also want to know what it's been like for you to transition into medical school. What are some things that you did beforehand to kind of prepare yourself for that adjustment? And what are some things that you might be doing now? I can't wait to read the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.